Apple cider donuts are one of my favorite fall guilty pleasures. These are so delicious and quick to make. They are going to become one of your family style favorites year after year. Although you can enjoy these year round, when apples are at their prime, these are a must-have. Let me show you guys how you can make this one at home using your Blackstone Griddle. I love making any kind of ricotta donut, and I showed you guys my basic recipe for these donuts, which you can easily find the full recipe on blackstoneproducts.com along with the recipe video on this Blackstone YouTube channel, so make sure you are subscribed, click that bell. We're putting a fun twist on these donuts using apples since it is apple season, and one of my absolute favorites, apple cider. Year after year, as apple cider season rolls in, these are always a go-to. So let's jump into it. You only need a handful of ingredients, including some whole milk ricotta cheese, apple cider, some fresh apples, whether they're green or red or any kind you like. You'll need 1 large egg. For our dried ingredients, we'll be using some flour, baking powder, Blackstone Snickerdoodle seasoning. Remember, this seasoning is only available on blackstoneproducts.com. Now into a large bowl, let's get these wet ingredients combined. We'll add our whole milk ricotta cheese and whisk together that with 1 large egg. You'll take 1 small apple and grate it, and be sure to squeeze out any extra juice. We just want some of that fresh apple to be grated and hidden inside of these donuts. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of our apple cider. Give that a quick whisk, and now let's set this aside and jump over to our wet ingredients. I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. To that, I'm going to add in 2 big tablespoons of our Blackstone Snickerdoodle seasoning. This alone will be the only sweetener I will need to add to these donuts, which I love. I don't have to add any extra sugar. Give that a quick mix just to combine, and then we're going to add this in half at a time, mixing it in with our wet ingredients. We're looking to create a nice sticky donut dough. Once this is done, you'll notice it's nice and sticky. That way we can create our donut balls with these, or donut holes. Now that our dough is ready, let's get some oil preheating on our Blackstone. You can do this in a small pot right on your Blackstone side burner. You could also do this directly on your Blackstone Griddle. Whether you're using a pot, the Blackstone deep fryer attachment that comes with your griddle, or you can even use a throwaway tin. Just be super careful using that directly on your Blackstone Griddle. While we wait for that oil to come up to heat, let's get to our glaze. I have a cup of powdered sugar in a mixing bowl. To that, I'm going to add in a ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to add in 1 big tablespoon of our Snickerdoodle seasoning, and we'll add in 3 tablespoons of our apple cider. Give that a whisk together until it becomes nice and thick, and that powdered sugar absorbs all of the apple cider. This alone is dangerously good, so try to set it aside until all of your donuts are cooked. Now for the fun part, let's set up our donut station. I have a cooling rack set right aside of my burners on the griddle. This is where we'll hold our donuts once they're fried. I've got my large griddle mat, which I love. It's big enough to hold all of my utensils. I have 2 small spoons. I have my Blackstone thermometer. I'm going to attach this to my small pot. I love having this thermometer from Blackstone. It comes with a deep fryer, although I didn't need that much oil, so I'm just using it on a small pot. And I like to use chopsticks when it comes to deep frying my donuts, as you've seen in my last donut video. These are just easy for me to roll over my donuts and take them out of the hot oil with. Once our oil is come up to heat, we're going to start dropping down these donuts. Using my 2 spoons, I'm going to dip them to lubricate them into the hot oil quickly, and then grab a spoonful of our dough, using the 2 spoons to pass the dough back and forth to create a small donut ball or hole. You can make these as small or as large as you want. Doing them with these 2 small spoons, you'll yield about 30 donuts, which is perfect to serve family style. You'll gently drop these into that hot oil and allow them to start to fry. These only take about 2 to 3 minutes per side. Using your chopsticks, you'll want to help to turn these over so that they can cook on each side evenly. However, you may notice that most of them will, on their own, just sort of pop and roll over, which is always fun to watch. You'll work these in batches, taking them out once done, once they achieve that nice deep golden brown color. If you'd like to test the timing for your specific oil and heat at home, fry one and cut it open and see how long that takes. Make sure that it's done. But for me, between the 350 and 375 mark, these only take about 5 to 6 minutes to fry. Plus, making them small like this always makes me feel a little bit better with how many I eat. After we've worked all of our batches and get these all fried up, I've got 30 donuts ready to serve up to my family. These donuts you will want to eat immediately. These don't really hold over to the next day very well, so you could always just cut the recipe in half. But I can guarantee you these are going to disappear before your eyes. They are just so delicious. For me, I have no problem making this recipe in full because these donuts just disappear instantly as soon as I serve them up nice and hot. There's just something I love about watching these donuts fry up. It just always amazes me how simple it is to make a batch of donuts. And just another reason why I love having these side burners attached to my Blackstone Griddle, and doing them outside really saves from that fried oil smell in the house. You can either dip them completely into your snickerdoodle apple cider glaze, put them back on to the cooling rack and allow that glaze to harden, which it will happen instantly, or the way I like to do it is drizzle that glaze right along the top, finishing them off with a dusting of powdered sugar and diving right in. You can see the inside of these donuts, all of those little pieces of apple appear, and just how fluffy that ricotta cheese makes these donuts turn out. Now I hope you guys try these donuts at home, whether they're these apple cider donuts or you go back and take a look at my ricotta donuts with a little hint of rum and lemon. Either way, donuts couldn't be any easier on the Blackstone, and we cannot wait to see you guys making them at home, so be sure to share a picture when you do. Until next time, I'm Blackstone Betty, and I cannot wait to see you guys enjoying some donuts at home with your family and friends.